enjoy the insight given by such a senior person who is among us, from across the borders. Professor Noorbakhsh, please.
Take your glass and be relaxed and you rest in the garden. Nasser عزیزم چطوری؟ I also take from myself, my wife. I should take a little from myself.
Good morning, respected colleagues and friends. I'm Noorbakhsh Hooti from Kermanshah, Razi University, Iran. I'd like to start with the name of Almighty God, who is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. The title of my presentation is The Famished Vortex of Estrangement and Disintegration in Shakespeare's Hamlet. Before that, I want to talk about the importance of literature briefly. I suppose literature is one of the main platforms to uncover and to divulge the suppressed and repressed, I can say, emotions or pains and pangs of mankind. So we are going to uncover those elements, which are some of them mostly are passive. We are going to make them somewhat active. As Baudrillard, one of the postmodern critics and writers or philosophers, says, everything has been said. But there are lots of things which are within us, which are passive. By highlighting them, they become active. This is what I'm going to do here. I've selected estrangement and disintegration. Well, further, I'll use the terms non-belonging, alienation. You know, why have I chosen this? We know that disintegration and estrangement, or these two terms, let's make it one, it is some omnipresent guest of our hearts and minds. We feel the pain or the pang of the strangeness of the situation within us. As I want to hide, you know, I use actually Shakespeare's Hamlet as an excuse to explain these things. Because of time limit, I've chosen only three characters, namely Hamlet the Prince, Claudius and Gertrude. We can talk even on this issue on Claudius, Laertes and Ophelia, but because of time limit, I've chosen the three characters. You know, we know that man is born, as I've said here, soft, mild and free from any contamination. A child is like a mild and caressing breeze. It touches all the hearts and minds innocently. But what happens when it grows up or it moves toward the path of growth and maturity? It becomes contaminated. Because we believe, this is a natural belief that when we talk about growth, we talk about maturity, we have got somehow optimistic ideas. But what happens? Do we have, this is the question indeed, do we, when we talk about the grown-up people, mature people, do we see those the positive things? If somebody does something, say, you're still a child. Oh, a child. But when you're cunning, you're good at deceiving, they say, oh, good. So, is it called maturity? Is this growth? So what happens to man when he moves toward the path of maturity and growth? This is one question. And then these things are very tangible in the life, everywhere we can see them. Well, first of all, let me just say that I'm going to give a general overview of this sense of disintegration and alienation, then I'll move to Shakespeare's Hamlet. Sense of alienation. There are different elements responsible for this sense. I've divided them into two groups, internal elements, like sense of loss. I want to give this I want to cite Dr. Roshan when he said in his presentation. He said beautifully when, this can be tangible, this can be felt within your own family. Like when a father and a child's illicit relationship, that illegitimate relationship, that sexual relationship creates a sense of disintegration. How do you feel that you belong? When home changes into a house, when the home changes into a house, then we have got that sense of loss. You do not belong to this home. It is merely a house. Then we feel that sense of non-belonging. So it's a sense of loss. You have lost something. Another sense of apprehension of loss. Sometimes you're afraid that you will lose in the future. For instance, you're a university graduate, you want to get a job. Then you see nepotism comes. You know that nepotism is relevant in your system. And that creates a sense of apprehension. That sense of apprehension creates a sense of non-belonging. And the external elements are imposed issues, like beliefs and values. It can be within a family members. If we try to impose our notions and beliefs on our siblings, or brothers, sisters, anything, even we feel that they stop feeling they do not belong to our group. If you go further, it can be school. If you try to impose my values, ideas on my students, that sense of disintegration will be born. If you go further, this is very important nowadays in the world. If we try to impose our values on other countries, like today it is very tangible in the world, like superpowers of the world try to impose their values, their culture, while each society has got its own values. It can be social values, cultural values, and religious values. But we try to impose our own values. We try to see the world from our own first values. Then we have a problem. It is very tangible nowadays, like world superpowers, I don't want to name any country, are trying to impose their values on other countries. If they do not give in to this, sanctions are there. Very easily they impose sanctions. It means you're disintegrated, you're isolated, which is not fair, because they want to pretend somehow that we are right, you are wrong. Imposing values create a sense of disintegration and non-belonging, which is very tangible in the world. Right, self-interest and selfishness. See, self-interest, they can lead to alienation, the sense of disintegration. How? Self-interest is something nice, we like it, everybody likes it. I think it's appreciated. It is not something bad. You work hard for your self-interest. But if my self-interest tries to swallow or devour your self-interest, it changes into selfishness. Selfishness is bad. So we see that in a surrounding where my self-interest swallows others, I create a miasma of we can say, alienation and disintegration. I've given a quotation here. Brassian Barber, a very beautiful quote, Aristotle, on self-interest, selfishness. I'd like to read this. The love of self is a feeling implanted by nature, said Aristotle. But selfishness is rightly sentient, because selfishness is not mere love of self, but the love of self in excess, like the miserly love of money. And this can create a sense of disintegration and belonging, I suppose. action and reaction. See, we are human beings. We have self-esteem. Well, if you want to feel inside, you cannot cheat yourself that you have got self-esteem, you respect yourself, you feel like you exist, not live. Existence means you're given responsibility, you take actions, you make decisions, you put your ideas into practice, then you exist, you act. But what happens if you're not given the permission of acting, you just react? Alright? For instance, I ask my son, you do so and so, I make decisions, and he or she will just react because I've acted. So when you are pushed within the domain of reaction, again you feel you do not really exist. And non-existence creates a sense of, indeed, non-existence, if you call it, creates a sense of disintegration. You feel alienated within that atmosphere because you feel that you are there just to be ordered, to be dictated. You just react. You cannot act. So, see here I brought a quotation from one of your own philosophers, Osho. He says, I like to read this as well, gives a pertinent comment on reaction. So try first to understand the term reaction. It means you are acting unconsciously. Somebody is manipulating you, somebody says something, does something, and you react. The real master of the situation is somebody else. Somebody comes and insults you and you react, you become angry. Somebody comes and praises you and you smile and you become happy. Both are the same. You're a slave and the other knows how to push the buttons. You're behaving like a machine. You're an automation, not a human being yet.
Thank you.
Now I want to go to the main thing, Hamlet. Hamlet, the sense of non-belonging. See, we see that in Hamlet, all the characters are somehow, wandering here and there. There is no sort of a real, sense of attachment. Only pretension are there. They pretend they are together. Indeed, they aren't. They try to act different roles to cover the vacuum of isolation and alienation, but all in vain. Hamlet the prince. One thing is I just want to say that Hamlet is indeed pushed towards a sense of alienation, disintegration. How? Hamlet was jarred, he was taken aback, he was shocked to see actually his father's mysterious death and his mother's snubbing marriage. Sudden death? Okay, death, he died, but what about marriage? And the gap? I'm just giving here the sorrowful morning sobs and the wedding march. The gap was very short. And this happening, this issue created a sense of non-belonging in Hamlet. It gave birth to that sense of non-belonging in Hamlet. Here we see the words exchanged by three characters, Hamlet, Guildenstern, and Rosencrantz. And in these exchange of words we realize how isolated and disintegrated Hamlet is. I don't know if you just go through it, I don't want to read the whole thing, but some part I suppose here, say, the world is a prison, like Guildenstern says, a prison, my lord. Denmark, Hamlet says, is a prison. So Rosencrantz said that then the world one, Hamlet, a goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst. Rosencrantz, we think not so, my lord. We think not so, because you are in a different situation. Yeah. Hamlet said, why? Then it's not to you. For there is nothing either good or bad. But thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison. To him, it was not a prison before his father's death and his mother's hasty marriage. But that father's sudden death, especially the hasty marriage, gave birth to that sense of disintegration that we see here, that we see that how he says in comments here. Then we have got Gertrude and her bohemian marriage. And Gertrude is a passive character, I believe so. She is just dictated. She is actually the slave of others' minds. And she enjoys, remaining at the top level of the royal family. She loves to be queen, no matter who the husband is. what I got from the things. I've written 2 articles on this, and I've published a book on Hamlet. This is what I have reached the conclusion. See, here Gertrude says, "Good Hamlet, cast thy night a colour off, and let thine eye look like a friend of Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for the noble father in the dust. Your nose is common, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity." Yes, this is very right. This is very right, I do believe in that. But the time is not apt. The time is not apt. You know, this is not the apt time. Because those days you have to consider the rituals were not finished yet. The rite, the ceremonies, when somebody dies, is not over. Suddenly we see someone married. Somebody is crying. You have not wiped out your tears yet. You want to smile and dance. Music. This is not the right time. And so these words cannot help Hamlet to have peace of mind, or to get away from the dark dungeon of disintegration, but he pushes him more. And again, a new sense of disintegration is created by these words within the world of Hamlet. Again, we see that there's change. You know, here we see that she does not belong even. See, that link is cut with the previous word very easily. She has taken sort of a new, I can say, identity, as we say, but this is not the right time. Right time. But again, we see that, like in Act 3, Scene 4, the same sense of non-belonging may be observed, different in her hangdog expression, means she regrets. "Oh, Hamlet, speak no more. That turns mine eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black and grey spots as will not leave their tinct." Again, there is sense of disintegration and belonging. She does not belong to herself here. Nobody. Then I go to Claudius, the main mastermind of the last character. He's suffering from inferiority complex. So he's fighting with himself. And he thinks by just, killing, murdering his brother and marrying his wife, everything is solved, but all in vain. We see how his act of murder is indicative of his sense of non-belonging to his surroundings. After this horrendous act of murder, after killing, after murdering his brother, again a new atmosphere is created. In that atmosphere, he cannot feel peace of mind. He feels even alienated, within himself. So you can cheat everybody. You cannot cheat yourself. You cannot cheat yourself. I don't want to give a quotation from, like Freud. We have got, the ego and superego, and within your superego, your conscience, exists. Within that, your superego, in that court of justice, you cannot run away. All right? And in that court of justice, he's stuck. He's stuck. He can't. He says, "No, I couldn't do anything." Yeah, I brought a quotation from Hooti, which is me. There are certain categories of individuals who find the true essence of existence in attaining the sense of superiority. That you think that you become superior and you can get peace of mind, but is it applicable here? Here, this is the last part. This is the soliloquy by Claudius. If you read that, we see that he cannot run away from the court of justice within his own existence. He has done everything possible. But what happened? Except bloodshed and tears and regretting, but too late. Too late, to make it up. And we see only suffering, bloodshed. So again, everybody, apart from the, you can say loss of death, we see sense of non-belonging all over Denmark, and especially the palace. There is sense of disintegration. So Hamlet, we see in Hamlet, they play a true sense of non-belonging and disintegration. And it is very tangible in today's world. We see that. You can see it in your family, school, society, world. Everybody says, "I'm the best." We has become I. I believe. We is meaningless, an obsolete word. I. The son says I. The father says I. Wife says I. Husband says I. This I creates that gap. That sense of disintegration and non-belonging. I belong to myself. You belong to yourself. We do not belong to one. Like say the neighbours. Before that, neighbours were like so loyal, so good to one another. But today, neighbours take care of the neighbours. This is a thing like that. When you lose something, you say my neighbours has done it, because there is a sense of non-belonging between you and the neighbours. Yeah, this is the conclusion. The last part, sir. Yeah, a fake utopia may lead to dystopia. If we try to create something, sort of utopian world, a fake one, and we think through our tricks, we reach peace of mind all in vain. Then we have to wait for a dystopia, a horrible world, where we can just see misery and suffering. Again, contaminated notion ultimately push one toward the vortex of non-existence. Yes, you should not expect, through poisonous words, reach a sweet ending. If you tell somebody, shut up, he or she doesn't, yes, sure. You should not expect smiles. So contaminated notions will have, I can say, poisonous results, as we see in Hamlet. And docility and passivity, which is like a kind of self-depreciation, sees one's sense of being that we see in Gertrude. She's very docile and passive, and that leads to her, I can say, sense of disintegration that she creates within her son and the surroundings as well. And I want to read the last part, that's all. As we see all the characters in Hamlet use all the available means to get away from this disastrous and unexpected challenge of life, they find themselves fighting for survival in the vortex of the ocean of blood, where they are swallowed and pushed into the thrown world of non-existence. So it means it's too late. It's too late. So, now what to do? The question is, we have got such a situation in the world. What is the solution? I'm not here to give the solutions. I'm just discussing with you. You feel this sense of non-belonging within your family, society, different institutions, establishments. So what to do not to get in the vortex of non-existence and non-belonging? The other cited works of mine. Thank you very much.
Thanks for saying so. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Noor. Actually, such a wonderfully presented paper, and the contents we really appreciate and thank Professor Noor. And now here I throw the space open for questions and comments.
It was a really good presentation. Here, I think you should really appreciate your body language. I think communication skills. And the non-verbal is really excellent.
Thank you, sir.
Because see, that is what presentation requires. And the research part is really good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And certain things I really appreciate because in today's world we need enlightened people. I think that's what you have done that. And second is, I think that you said we to I to total destruction. There's no, after Y is next destruction only. Because man is disintegrating himself, and he is not answering the basic question, who am I, what is my role? See, if you don't answer that question, because you have touched on that part, there is no difference between animal and me. If I don't protect this, your earth, and the basic purpose is to protect this. That's why God has differentiated me from the animal, isn't it? So what I need to do is, I need to spread that, that values and all this to the next generation. That we are not doing at all at present. And when you told that superpowers, they are those people. I also don't want to mention those countries' names. And today they are in dilemma. Because, a country like India is shooting up and they are really, intolerant. Why did you ask globalization? Who was globalized to the world? That's the way it disintegrates. I really appreciate, sir. I really appreciate the presentation.
Main thing is the ideas and the contents
what is
the professor wanted to convey.
How was his presentation?
Hamlet was just an
Mr. Noorbakhsh.
just a vehicle, to drive the ideas further. Thank you very much, sir. And now, with all respect and honor, I offer and hand the stage over to Professor Noor. Please come, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you very much.
Thanks for saying so, Professor.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
And
Okay, this is
on, with the permission from Professor Noor, I would invite on his behalf the next speaker, and then he will take over. The next speaker is going to be Mrs. Kalpana, who was about to start, but somehow, because of some technical glitches, it could not be. Now I invite Mrs. Kalpana, please.
Sir. بهرام تاج چطوری دکتر؟ صحبت کنم فیز میرم چه خبر؟
Respected Dr. Noor and my dear colleagues, a very good morning to all of you. I am Mrs. Kalpana Gangatikar from Maharashtra. I am going to present a paper on Shobhade's Second Thoughts, a tale of silent suffering. In my paper, I am going to touch some of the aspects of Indian matrimony. Marriage is a fate traditionally sanctioned to women by society. But marriage is not the same thing to a man as to a woman. I quote Simone de Beauvoir, the French feminist. My dear friends, I am not going in detail with the theory